Okay, so we're off to do the ladder test for the 6.5 LMT. Looks like rain, very humid. We're gonna send it anyway. Is what it is, man. That's what you do. Run your guns, not your mouth, right? So next stop, the club. Let's see what we can get done. This is the final test, I believe. With the different seating depths, we're gonna have to hand load them. Some of them are kind of loose, but we're gonna find just the right one. And then we should have all the data in order for the next batch to be locked down and, you know, ready to go. And then we'll move on forward from there. Cool. Hope you're having a good weekend. Get out there and shoot your guns instead of running your mouths. Like me. America, fuck yeah. Out.
Hey, buddy.
What?
You said you brought your 6 ARC too?
Yeah.
Want to wait a minute? And I mean, are you going to do this?
I don't know yet. I'm hoping
okay.
somebody shows up at noon. I'd rather do it on the 100.
Yeah, the weather seems to be holding out.
It's Florida. Don't like it. Wait 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be due, but yeah, it's kind of holding out. At this point, it's supposed to be like 90% or something, I think. I think at 1 o'clock, like 100%, but I haven't seen it yet.
We're coming up.
I was going to say, I just wanted to make sure that before you had this, get the Corona from me, that's all.
Oh yeah, I was gonna do a few hours.
Yeah.
But well, 20 till, maybe somebody will show up.
Yeah, be nice. I've only got 3 more left in this string and I'm done with this box.
Oh yeah? Double check that can, just in case. Yeah, we're good. Ugh. Damn, could have been 3 in the same hole, but I messed it up. You need to come left and up for some reason. But you're 0 for the 100, but definitely need to come left regardless. I'm number 3, I think. Cool. Oh, there we go. Oh, one of my staples fell. Well, hope you don't fall off, buddy. Yeah, well, should work. Six o'clock.
The speed's gonna get faster.
I tend to cause my own deviations. All right, we've cooled down enough. Didn't want to overheat it. We're moving on to 2.183. current speed, we're at 2611.9. Yeah. Well, it's. Keep them separated.
Yeah.
You gotta keep them separated.
These are in order, right? Or no, I stuck them in there. Go ahead, I'll grab that one. I just want to look at it. But actually, I don't even have to look at it. I know it's good.
Check my placement for the bag. I'm doing that. I'm trying to keep cheek pressure minimum and holding it up with the bag.
Here, let me show you something real quick.
I want to correct any last bit of
So
input.
try this. I don't know if you can do it because your body and my body are two different things. Let me jump in there and show you something real quick. First, I don't like this bag, man.
No, it's a bit too
It's too fucking squishy.
too squishy.
Yeah, and another thing is you sit super high, and I think that's a problem.
No,
And I just don't know though
because
because
the mag drags.
well, you're bigger dude, and can you get down? I don't know. You know, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
try this, and let's see if this lines up. Yeah. So now I'm not having to hold this bag up and do all this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here, and here's what I do. Watch my left hand. When I want to get on the target, first of all, if I'm too high, right, I want to start low and rise up. So I'll get this set up in a place to where I'm above the dot that I'm shooting at. Or excuse me, I'm below it. The gun's up.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna sink into it, but watch my left hand. I'm just controlling it with the squeeze of my left hand. I'm not holding the bag up.
Gotcha. Okay. That's
Try that, but again, I don't know if you can get in here like this because we're two different people.
I'll
so.
scoop back because I can see the benefits of that. I've been running it too high and I'm too much deviation.
Yeah, try it with that bag.
All
See-
that input is probably causing.
See if you can get into that position. You're gonna have to get low. Put your feet behind you. Kind of get down on the table. Yep. You're just gonna support with that arm and your right elbow. You see what I'm saying? Is it too low for you? Can you do it?
No, it's not bad actually.
And just squeezing that bag. And again, if it's not coming up, don't squeeze the fuck out of it. Reposition the bag. You shouldn't have to use too much pressure. You know what I'm saying?
Currently, it's the gun's way too high. I gotta get down. So
You need to get down.
squeeze it to lower it basically.
Yeah, or I would reposition it, Jake. Let me show you
No,
something else.
I'm actually pretty good right here.
All right. Yeah, just don't squeeze it too hard. Reposition the bag. If you're having to squeeze a lot, reposition the bag. Like move the film down.
Oh, that hit really high.
Well, the gun cooled off. It might have something to do with that.
I'll keep at it. Ow! Fucking tables, I hate them. Alright. That's a lot of drop when I let go of that bag.
So reposition the bag. See, look at the bag. Hold on. Look at the bag. See all this fill, right?
Yeah.
Reposition it, put it back on.
Okay.
Okay. You don't want to have to squeeze that bag hard for this type of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I was manhandling this to try to guide it.
Yeah, now that out in the field, awesome. Like you're jumping down prone and shooting at something, you know, really fast. That's great. But if you can not have to squeeze it and hold the weight of the gun, it's much better.
Gotcha. Ooh, that's a nice shot. Ow. Woo. Spicy little critter. I like your bag. Okay. Well, I assume shooting bags are like holsters. As time goes on, you start to accumulate all different kinds. All right, last 3 strings. 2.169, giggity giggity. Ooh, dead shot. That was nice. Love this gun. Love this gun. Oh, it jumped up on me. Cursed it. I think as I'm releasing the trigger, I'm letting go a bit, and it's causing the barrel to rise a bit. And I think that's what's causing that. All about control and consistency. Still haven't nailed that down yet. Yeah, it's spread out to the right now. Weird, man. Shooting physics still kind of baffles me sometimes.
That's the bullets or something you're doing.
It's usually me. Never give up, never surrender. And if that was a bad guy, he'd still be fucking dead, so I'm not that worried about it.
Yeah.
I just doubt I'm ever going to be a competition fucking precision shooter in this life.
I'm just surprised that the few. God dang it! Yeah,
It's spreading all over the place.
just out of curiosity, let me shoot your last 3 to see if it makes. a
Yeah,
difference.
yeah, I'm sure there'll be fucking ragged holes. It's just frustrating for
Oh
me.
no, it could be the bullets. I'm not saying it's you, but you know, science. Try an experiment here. See if it is. The speeds are good.
Yeah, it's gonna be me.
I don't know.
Too much input on the cheek or too much input on the grip. Or I'm letting go of the bag at the wrong moment. I think I'm grabbing the grip too with too much. Watching you, you barely touch it. think I'm still strong handing it. That's probably it.
Yeah, that printed, dude. That was about a .35.
Yeah, so it's still me, my control over the grip, and probably too much input from my fat head on the cheek.
There's so much stuff I see. Like after I was telling you to get lower on it, I was watching, but I didn't want to fuck with you because you're about to shoot. But like, your shoulder has got way too much going on. You're like fucking jacking the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, stay off of this. You know, I mean, like get set up in it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like get set up in it, but like when I set up, here's what I do. I release everything. That way I know that this thing's set up correctly.
Yeah.
Now, if I release everything and I see the thing move a half an inch, that's because my shoulder was fucking with it or something was fucking with it. So I get on the gun, and then, like I said, I pull this back to make sure, you know, I'm not fucking with it. And if I got to come left or right, I don't do it with my shoulder. Like, so look here, I'll set up. I'm right where I want to be, but then I let go. Okay, it moved a little, so I'm actually just gonna barely move my hand, right? I'm moving the bag really. Then come back, like don't let your shoulders like, you're like making a pocket, like you're shooting like standing up an AR, like trying to get in there and make a pocket. Get your shoulder the fuck out of it is probably the best advice.
You're only lightly pressing the back of that to keep it from.
I
moving back.
purposely let go of this to make sure that it's where it wants to be without my body influencing it.
So I just ruined that whole test with my technique. Good to know.
Well, I mean,
I just wish I could.
it still costs less than factory ammo. So you shot guns.
But it's not going to give us any usable data.
Another thing too, man, get you a
10
shorter one of these,
Yeah.
man. This is problematic.
That's part of the reason I was extending the bipod full height. The mag's drag, and
It is barely off of there. Like those top two dots, it's actually touching a little bit, I think. I can't tell. But when I come down to the top, like left and right ones, yeah, it's off, but it's only off by about 1/8 of an inch. Yeah. But yeah, I would, try and stay low. Use this.
I'm shrekking it.
And all you're doing, like, you're trying to hold the gun. The gun's holding itself, man.
Okay.
You just, well, we've talked about this a lot. Like,
Yeah, I
just,
know, but I still
like, let it
default to
be.
bad habits.
So get in there, influence it, you know, and then pretty much stay on this bag, but, like, you know, take your shoulder off. Make sure your cheek weld's not pushing too hard. You know? It should sit by itself, honestly. And then when it sits by itself, you can basically like watch when I pull the trigger. So once I get it set, I know this thing's holding itself up, and this is where I really like I'll re-manipulate the bag to get where I want to be. You know, to where I know that this thing's basically holding itself up. And then I'm on 6 o'clock. You know, just basically this and this. Like I say, if you watch like bench press shooters, they have like a separate trigger guard. So the trigger guard, like, just pretend this grip's not here. They literally grab the trigger guard, like they put their thumb behind it and go kick.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's another one we've talked about.
Yeah, I know. I guess I don't know.
But like this. So here's what they'll do. Literally do this. I mean, a lot of them, like a lot of the better ones, they literally go like this. Click. You know. Of course, too, they got like 4 or 6 ounce triggers, but they're literally like just going like this once they're set up.
Right.
So they're really not influencing it, setting it up, and then they'll literally do that. They put their thumb here and barely touch it and go. And because they got like a 4 ounce trigger, they are barely touching it. They're like, you know.
I've always been a Shrek type of guy, you know.
Oh, you just
Comes to being delicate,
you gotta
it's
let
not
the
my
gun do what
vibe.
it's got to do. I mean, in this type of shooting, this is the only place you would do this is like shooting from
Right.
a bench, or if you were shooting with like a front rest, like bench rest or F class, that is the same sort of thing.
I guess my brain isn't separating.
That's what
the
you're
two.
trying to do. Is you're trying to simulate like what they do in like F class with the bipod. You're just basically, well, sort of. I don't know. There's a lot to it, but yeah, just try to not influence the gun. And I think your biggest problem is your shoulder.
Okay.
Get your shoulder out of it.
Yeah, it's always been a.
Don't do this though. Here's another one. This will fuck you up. Just to explain this ahead of time and nip this in the bud. So when I say like, when I'm talking about like getting set up and then I kind of release everything, like I've taken my shoulder off, right, and all that. Some people will just leave it off, right? Well, that's fine and dandy if you do it every fucking time, but I find it's better to actually make contact, but you're barely touching it. I've got like 2 pounds of pressure back here right now. You know, like if you take your shoulder off, you're trying to simulate like what they call free recoil, right? But that doesn't really work with a bipod with rubber feet on a table that well.
Right.
So what I'm doing is kind of a mix. I'm letting it do it, but I'm just putting my shoulder in the same spot every time. You know, I'm quite sure the gun's out of the bullet before I'm affecting it, but at the same time, I'm not letting it fully free recoil.
Yeah, that's why
I used to try and do that. Like I used to try and take my shoulder like this far back and leave it back, like a half-inch back. And I find it was harder to replicate the same shit over and over again. But if I actually I'm just kissing my shoulder up to it after I've made sure that my shoulder's not influencing it.
That's why I bought those sleds to try the free recoil thing with.
Well, I mean, in a sense, you are getting a little bit of free recoil because, again, I don't have much pressure and it's moving my shoulder, and I don't think my shoulder's influencing it. But I'm not even sure why. I can just tell you this seems to work, and I used to free recoil it, and again, I release, make sure I'm not affecting it, then I come in and I just put my shoulder up to it.
Cool. I will apply that going forward because at this point I should be a better shot by now. But my brain defaults to old habits and then I shoulder the fuck out of it. And I'm getting these wide spreads where I should have close to raggeds.
Well, get lower on the gun, like I was saying, because here's another one. Like you're always
grab a couple of 10-round mags.
You're always
too.
sitting up high. You're doing this, which this is what that's meant for, like in shooting situations. But here you can fix it the way you want.
Right.
You can set the bipod up. You're shooting on.
I'm trying to stabilize it with my shoulder and
So
hand.
it's better to let the bag do the work.
Yeah.
I mean, this works too, but maybe it's messing you up. Like I can get away with this. I got a feeling that something you're doing here is messing you
Oh,
up.
definitely. Probably. I don't think it's one thing. It's a couple of things. The shoulder, the grip,
So you're doing that, and then you're wrapping your shoulder in there.
putting probably too much pressure.
I guarantee you do this. Like, I mean, leave the bag where it's at, whatever it is. But I guarantee if you get on target and you release, you're gonna see that fucker move.
Yeah, it always does. So I try to compensate for that with shoulder and bag,
Yeah.
which is why my shit's all over the place.
These two things are doing everything, man. You shouldn't have more than 2 pounds of influence. In
I
any
feel
other
bad
spot.
with all that work on that seating test, and it's kind of we're gonna have to redo it probably. But.
Dude, I'm pretty sure those long depths, and we're gonna look at the velocities. I think those last couple of groups were probably the ones.
Yeah.
And the velocity will tell you a lot too. If the velocities stay true, that might be the sweet spot for it. Because I noticed on the shorter seated ones, it probably had too much jump. meaning there was too much space between the bullet and the lance.
Yeah.
And it seemed like you were getting you were getting a bit of variance in your velocities.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll look, those last couple, I bet you the velocities are better.
Okay.
It's probably, you know, every gun's got a sweet spot for the jump or the distance there, the seating depth. Anywho.
All right, let's apply those techniques to the 6 arc and see if I can get some groups that don't look like a complete retard do. Okay, I think we're good. Close. One click up. One click right. Alright, let's work on a group, see what we can get done. There we go. There we go. Six Arc likes me today.
What ammo are you shooting? The 108?
108
Yeah.
match. $40 a goddamn box.
Hey, I know a guy who loads that.
Yeah. So I do pretty well with these 108 standards, but yeah, it's a lot cheaper.
That's what I load though, is 108.
I wouldn't do a ladder test on this. I would just match everything that Hornady puts out to the 108s to spec and just reload them that way.
You really can't because you don't know what powder it is.
Oh, you're right.
It's proprietary.
What kind of powder do you use for 6 Arc? The same Hogden, or is it a whole different one?
I use lever evolution, that
Yeah.
filthy shit. It's disgusting.
Oh, that nasty shit?
Yeah.
It shoots great. It takes you 5 hours to clean the gun?
Yeah, it's just like a...
All right, Mr. 6 Arc. That proof barrel's so sweet.
Okay. Do it. Ow. Fucker's hot. Good spread there going down. A little bit of control lost there, but all in. Heading in the right direction. That's it for me.
Alright, well, the seating depth test didn't go as great as I wanted it to. I found I was getting some pretty wide spreads, and it was more of me still fighting that too much input into the stock, too much input into the bag, and too much input into the grip. And I've watched Scott several times and how he stabilizes and barely touches it with his shoulder and very lightly raises his hand to the grip and doesn't really manhandle it. And then when I try that, I get really far deviation. So then I go back to what kind of works. And then I go back and forth, and it's just, it's a bit confusing. Trying to figure that shit out. So this test with those loads didn't do great. Of course, I let Scott take the last 3 shots. They were ragged holes. So now odds are the higher, the longer seating depths are the winning ticket anyway. So I'm not really still 100% sure about the point of the tests. You're not going to go at the bottom. You're not going to go that loose. But still wrap my head around this shit. I don't know. Is it wasted on me? I don't know. I'm interested in it, but it's just a lot of this stuff is just a lot of science, a lot of math, a lot of physics, a lot of variables. Temperature, this, that, the other, winds. Then you're loading, and then you're getting your grain weights where they kind of want to be, and then your seating depths and your neck tension, and I'm like, fuck me. I just want to shoot some fucking shit, man. But I'm also fascinated by it, and I want to get it. So 6 arc ran pretty great. Had to dial in. I leveled that scope as well. I'm going back to some of my stuff that I didn't quite get right, and I'm slowly improving, like I used to do with my builds, and get torque right and all that. So, well, any day you go out shooting is a good day. I want each, because it's not cheap. All the stuff I'm doing. I want every session to matter. So what's the end game here? Next batch of loads, you get the right neck tension, the right seating depth, the right grain weight that you think it likes, and then move forward from there with a little bit of change in my approach to it. I should be shooting ragged holes all day, every day. So we'll see. All right, you gotta head home, feed the doggos. Didn't feed them this morning because I was leaving for the range. Didn't want them with full tummies. And that's about it. We'll get home and figure out all this stuff, all this data, and see what the next step is, and go from there. Cool. Get out and shoot your guns. Sit around in your mouth, even if you do it poorly like me. Any day on the range is a good day. All right, America, fuck yeah.